Hey, Rad World, welcome back to an episode of Spoiling Dead. That's right, I said an episode of Spoiling Dead. We are back by popular demand, guys. And this episode is brought to you by Rad Threads, Rad Entertainment's clothing line designed with filmmakers in mind. And I'm here with my dudes, Tony Walters and Daniel Murphy, and I'm Rebekah Erb. And let's get this conversation started. Hey, guys.
Hey.
It's weird being back.
Normally you have a laptop.
I know. I am deciding to go with like the more chill,
I like that.
no notes.
I like that.
We'll talk on the
Off
high
the cuff.
points, off the cuff, more organic, if you must.
It's fresh in my mind still. So.
Oh my gosh, what a great episode. I will say, I have to disclose that the very, very first episode of season 10, I was so disappointed. I was done. And as you guys know from, tuning into this show, I love Walking Dead so much. Like, it could never do wrong. And it did me wrong. And it took me a long time to get back into it. And especially with this episode,
there were a couple
makes
of low
me
episodes
happy.
There for a
Man.
little minute
Yeah.
as they transitioned from the whole Rick thing.
Oh, absolutely.
But
they got me back.
I'm glad
for
I
sure.
stuck with it too.
Yeah. Especially with an episode like last night.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Negan thing, let's just jump into that one right now. Like, do you think, I guess the main number one question, who's effing with who?
He's effing with her, but she thinks she's effing with him.
You think so?
Oh, Negan's totally just
So
I
it's
mean,
like,
he's taking advantage of the situation a little bit.
right. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I played a trick on you, but I was playing a trick on you, but in the turn, I was the one that was playing a trick on you because I knew you'd play a trick on me. Type
Negan's
of thing.
admitted he has to change his tactics. He pretty well said it to her last night, like when he realized who he thought he was versus who he really was and who he's perceived to be.
Right, okay.
But he's still adapting and changing because that's what you have to do. So I feel like he's ultimately still for the good of the group. Our group.
Now, at least now he has that change, but he's still using his same Negan tactics.
If he'd have turned her down right there, he was ready to die right there, wasn't he? I think for a minute.
For sure.
And I think when he realized what it was, he's going to play it cool and play along no matter what.
Absolutely.
But still, it's like, it is what it is.
Right.
Minus that creepy mask. I would have took that off.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Totally. That's rotten zombie flesh you're making out with.
So you would have, but it's leathered, so it's not like it has
still
that.
Gross.
So you would have wished,
Although
the clean shaved, like, dirty raccoon type. I mean, she's beautiful. I'm not saying anything about that.
I get
but with
what
like,
you're saying because she's dirty anyway. But
or the other.
I'd like to think she at least jumped in the river a minute before she.
She did look exceptionally clean, in their, knickers.
I mean, it was just
their birthday suit.
A lot of people are complaining about it. I think it was great. I think it was really good that they added that. I think it just adds another
so people were
level
complaining
of
about
humanity
the
to
skin or the act
The skin
itself.
was gross, but it was also. What?
No, is people like are they mad about like the act itself, or are they mad about that there's so much skin
just
showing?
People moan, and you see people moan about everything. But
well, yeah, I mean,
I
just
think it was
people
more the actual sex scene.
Yeah.
But also with the mask.
Right.
But I think it's great how they did it. I'm not complaining about how they did it. I love the gross yuck factor of it, and I think the fact that she kept the mask on is just brilliant because that's what she would have done.
Very interesting.
Yeah, she's a whisperer.
Yeah.
Maybe when she's naked, she feels vulnerable, and she feels less vulnerable if she leaves the mask on. That's just the weakness of hers.
Well, maybe she feels like, well, if he's gonna do some things to me in my mask, that's like
maybe it's just a
the
kinky
moment
thing.
for her. She's like, okay, now I have him because if he's able to do this with the mask, I have him wrapped around my finger.
He's gonna play along and play it cool, and in the meantime, he's still gonna have a bit of fun.
It's very interesting seeing Negan in this way because him being back to his like, I mean, he's always been cocky, but back to like his real talk is kind of disturbing because I want to hate him so much, but now especially after everything that he's done and enough time has passed. I mean, come on.
Sure.
His time has been served.
A lot.
He's changed, and you know it. So it's weird.
He understands himself. He still believes what he did was right, and he was helping people, which you would.
But now he sees like the skewed part of it.
Some of the things he did was definitely wrong.
Absolutely.
And he understands that, and that's hopefully what jail does to a person. So I mean, great. So that's why I feel like
at least it's supposed to, right? That was like the main invention of jail way back in when. Yeah.
Now it's just for whatever. But anyway, it's just like I love everything about that and
that
where
relationship
Negan is now, and how he handled that situation, because he would have handled that differently before.
Now, what kind of relationship does Alpha and Beta have? Is it an open relationship? Or is he going to be some angry boyfriend and go after Negan?
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think, I mean, she's basically just, looking for a new Beta right now.
Plan,
is what's going on.
Isn't it? Because Negan's trying to dethrone him.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, even like
better way than a cockfight.
Well, the way that they even operate, like the Whisperers themselves, it is like a pack. And so, like, as far as like the Alpha and the Beta, I feel like in their social thing, they would be the top, and nobody else. It's just them, and everybody else is beneath them.
It's
monarchy, right? So it's very, very interesting, and I don't know if we've ever really seen Negan fight. I know he fought with Rick.
He fought with Rick a few times.
Pretty well in his house. But even then, that seemed short.
Do the fighting for him.
Have we ever seen him like go all like ham out on somebody?
I mean, Glenn.
Oh, you.
He had a bat in his hand.
Oh, goodness. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He has nothing. He does. Where did Lucille go, or the new Lucille? Is it the exact same one?
I don't think it's the same one.
It's just the one that boy made.
Yeah, I think it's part of him moving on too. Is like he doesn't need Lucille. Lucille's part of the problem, even though she's a memory of his. Like I think there's little things like that.
Right, that connect.
Yeah,
right.
As he figures out who he needs to be next.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Like. He is trying to survive, I think, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, but also he does care. And it's not like he cares for the other communities as a whole. It's Judith.
But remember, he
and,
did
like, the
go
kids,
looking for them, too. So we know, because it's Negan, he does have a plan. And
it seems like it. Absolutely.
He's always thought about all the possible ways things can go, and always seems to have his ass covered, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think, or at least I hope that
we'll
really
see. Sex with Alpha may not have been one of those things.
Right, but I hope that we'll really see the cleverness that is Negan, because he has been pretty clever, but really to figure out when we get the we'll see where he's going with this. But I hope it's a good payoff.
I really do. I feel like this is the moment they're going to give us, the moment where Negan does do something really good in a really good moment somehow.
Yeah.
It's going to be to do with Alpha and hopefully her demise. But I mean, I guess you got to get all the way to the top. Mm-hmm, so you got to
climb your way up.
Give the honey
Pays
to the queen.
Know people. That's right. Man, good part though. Good part. Not what I was expecting. And then the next, big chunk of everything, which I loved how you were describing it, kind of like Goonies.
I felt like it felt like Goonies a bit.
Yeah,
especially
I agree.
when the whole place was coming down and he was holding up the thing.
So
just
good.
The adventure in the caves, running from stuff but it was also really, I did feel very anxious watching that.
I never thought that I would be a claustrophobic person, but just from watching that and not actually being in the moment, I just don't think that I think I would be like a Carol. I would be hyperventilating.
Like 2 days before, there was a story online about this guy who got stuck in a cave, and they couldn't get him out. So all they could do for him was give him drugs to keep him calm, and eventually he just suffocated in there.
Oh,
and that sounds awful.
Gosh.
And they couldn't get the body out, so they closed it off so nobody else could ever go in.
What the heck?
I just read that 2 days before this.
The heck?
So I was like, it was making me think of that guy.
From the moment that Daryl found the little sideways one that they had to start in, that moment I was like, Jerry's not going to fit. He's going to be stuck right there. He's not going to have to go any farther. Yep. And then he got through. I was like, okay, cool. Jerry's through. And then it went farther and farther. I'm just like, he's not going to be able to fit through there. Like, oh my gosh.
There was a really good, they really did a great job in making that feel threatening and scary. And
it's been a while where I actually thought a character was a goner, because before it's like, they're gonna survive, like it's fine, but this time I'm like, this is it, this is it.
I was like, how dare they take out Jerry in the most gruesome, horrible way?
Because it would have been horrible.
But then when he makes it out and then he's holding up the thing while everybody's going through, I'm like, they're gonna kill him here. They're gonna give him a heroic death now instead.
But he's still gonna die. But I just kept picturing how horrific that would have been if he'd been ate up by those two.
Well, they would have shot him in the head
Probably,
at that
yeah.
point.
Well, I don't know that they had any guns.
And they may not have.
There was the slingshot. There was a slingshot.
They had weapons,
They had
because
something.
they just fell down the hole.
Yeah. But even like, okay, let's like start from like the beginning, even before them going
dynamite.
through that. How crazy is Carol now for just screaming at the sight of Alpha?
I believe that.
With that whole, I mean, that just screams like she's done. There's
She's
no
been there,
coming
though.
back from this.
She's been there before.
I don't know if she's quite been here though. She's
lost
just gotten
everything
more
now, though, hasn't she,
bullheaded.
as far as that-
Absolutely, yeah. She's
She's
got,
lost
like,
everything again.
Because
Like,
she's
this
still
is-
even having like little hallucinations with all of the kids. And,
But this time,
and
like her kids murdered instead of being turned into. I forget.
Right,
didn't
right. That was-
Sophia just got bit.
Yeah, she got bit. Yeah, and that
So
and that
it's
was
still-
and that was very early on, and everything. This is her surviving, restarting a family,
right.
actually getting to a point where she's finally
She
on
gave
her-
up
feels-
on love. She's given up on her best
Yeah.
friend.
right. And not just that, but even with Sophia, that wasn't Sophia's fault or Carol's fault. Like it
Right.
just
That's
happened.
just part of
And
the
then
way
with
the
the
world
second
works.
group of kids,
Right,
that
murder.
girl was wrong in her head. That's not Carol's fault. But now with Henry,
Oh,
she
yeah.
feels like it's her fault.
about the
And
middle
that's
one.
like
Look
the
at the flowers.
yeah, exactly. Like that is like where I feel like the turn is, like the
Right.
switch.
And when they had Henry, they were living in a stable place, and there was
Oh,
a family
yeah.
with the king, and
I
all
mean-
that was kind of all sorted out.
And it
wasn't
was probably settled for a while because there's been a lot of time that's passed. So for things to be kind of
It
like
was the
find a new
norm.
normal, exactly.
Right, it felt right and normal and happy.
So what do you think's next for her? Is she gonna?
Well,
she gone? Is
she's-
she
I
out?
think she's. I feel like that's gonna might be it for her. Like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe once Alpha's done and gone, that could be okay for Carol. But right now she's kind of
Right.
at the lowest of lows. Daryl's walked. Everyone's literally walked away from her.
Oh, absolutely.
She's now created almost two deaths there for causing that to happen down
Yeah.
there. So it's like I mean, if you put yourself in her shoes, man, she's just in a horrible place. too.
Definitely.
And she doesn't know what to do. And when you're in a low place like that, the only thing you can do is
just
what
like
you
sit
initially
there
set
almost.
out to do. I mean,
yeah.
she's still going to be focusing on Alpha
right.
or just herself. I don't know. It's sad.
It is really sad. But as far as, and I cannot think of their names, the ones that are now trapped.
Yeah.
Paducaville. I'm the worst. This is what
it's,
happens when I don't write.
Magna.
Mag-
Yeah, she was the one. She was
Magna,
kind of mad
yeah.
at Carol, wasn't she? She was giving Carol a rough time, but she wasn't helping the situation any. But
She wasn't.
She wasn't wrong either.
No, she wasn't. And they've been there long enough to where she had every right to like
Thing is with
say that to
though,
Carol.
We know what she's capable of. Like when she goes for Carol,
And Connie.
Connie,
and
that's
there's
right.
nothing to stop her now. Nobody to hold her back. Like Daryl would always be the one that
Right.
he said it to kind of talk her out of it. That's gone. There's literally nothing stopping her now.
So how, I guess the first part of like the explosion, like how many walkers do you think are gone, or is this just going to create the
I don't
issue
think
and let
that
them
really even
loose?
put a dent in them.
I doubt that put a
I
dent
think
in
that
it.
was just her crazy. Just like, I've got to take at least a couple out, It was the best she could do at the time, and she didn't want to
Right.
leave there without doing something. And
Now,
she just created an issue.
My other question is, a DNT or a TNT will actually explode like that without
Stick of
being
dynamite?
lit?
Well, I think that they
like,
I don't believe so, but I think that they said or something like,
They
they're really like corrosive
Yeah.
or something was wrong with them. Don't be careful.
Yeah, they made a point of saying
There
that's why
was
she
something
like
wrong.
really
I-
gently
I mean,
laid
I
it back in the
remember that,
box.
but I mean, like
I don't
IRL,
know how
if that's
dynamite
how.
works.
Okay.
I think you need a fuse, but I guess if you've got all
Okay.
this explosive stuff and it's
Right. The one
know.
disappointing thing, and honestly, the only disappointing thing is they seem to just kind of move right past that explosion. Like, you know that it fell, and there was like the time before it, and you heard it.
Right.
But I wish we could have like seen a little bit more
There's this
of
thing.
it.
It's called they
yeah,
don't have any
they-
money. You've seen what they do
I don't- I
with
also-
their CG.
True. This is so true.
But they also maybe wanted to just kind of leave it completely like you're not
So you
gonna
don't
know.
see-
Because they could be alive, right? I mean,
Right.
they totally could be alive.
Yeah,
There's a
no,
whole cave
they're
system.
definitely alive.
And they're trapped down there with walkers.
I
Right.
think they're
Right.
definitely alive. I think they're too
Yeah.
far of main characters now to just
Right.
get like kind of an
Plus,
off-screen death.
she was
Right.
also the one looking for a way out, so she's capable of figuring out how
And now
to get
Daryl
out.
knows with his
And
like
he's looking
tracking
for
skills,
another
he knows there's
entrance.
another entrance.
doubtful.
Right.
Maybe one of them died. Maybe one of them didn't. Maybe none of them did.
We've got a lot of chatter going on in the
Well, what's
in
the chatter?
Just we've got Daniel in the chat. We've got Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay. My Lindsay.
I mean,
Lindsay McIntyre?
Yeah.
Hi, Lindsay.
We've got I think a new person here to the chat, Elijah.
Hello.
And Elijah wants to know what's this thing going on with Negan and Alpha, and we just spent a pretty good portion of the beginning of the show
Good
talking
chunk.
about that.
Yes.
Yeah, but
It's cool.
we think
I think
recap.
Daniel's filling him in.
it's all part of his twisted plan to get to the top.
Get to the top.
And
But
how do
who's
you get to
messing
the
with
top?
who?
You gotta get.
Hey,
your D wet.
that's a thing. That's if you want.
We did skip over Gamma and what was going on with Gamma and kind of how she might be in some trouble.
Right.
For
being the snitch.
The snitch of the group.
Right.
What do you think is gonna happen to Gamma?
I think she's, I don't know, probably gonna die. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I care for her face, so.
She's a pretty known actress, right? She's in a lot of stuff.
I feel like I've
she
seen
is.
her before.
She
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
But I think she did stuff more when she was a kid. Like she was
I
a
think it
child
was
actor or
like
something. I
yeah,
can't
like
remember her name.
teenage. Yeah. But so I guess like it's for sure they know that she's
They
the
don't
snitch.
know.
Because I guess I
Negan's-
missed that part.
It's part of Negan twisting her up because he's the one that kind of planted the seed in her mind
Right.
that Gamma is more than likely the snitch because the other guy couldn't have done it. Whatever, there was a choice of two. can't remember
Oh, right.
Exactly went down, but anyway, he planted the seed in her mind, and she kind of called him out for it, exactly doing that. But yet now with the whole sex thing, he's just letting her know like I'm on your side, honey. So it's like. He's done it, but it's true.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know it's true? Probably not. But Negan would have figured that out, so he's right.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's how she got into that situation.
So maybe he's just going. He's figuring out how as he goes.
He's
like he doesn't really
manipulating her
know
because
exactly
she
how to
truly
do it,
believes
but
that
he
the group
gets.
believes everything she says
Yeah.
and that she's brainwashed them. And
Yeah.
Negan's like, no, they don't. Because he can see that. He knows
Right.
that. Because
Right.
he's real talk with everyone.
Right, and he's
And
been
then-
in her position of power
right,
too.
Right, and now he knows from failing that people do talk behind your back,
Right.
and it's not what you
Fear,
think it is.
fear isn't
Just
the way to do it now.
Right, just
like, he
because
knows
you
that.
think it's that up in your crazy mind doesn't mean everybody's buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the one whose sister's you just killed and the baby got taken away. That's who Gamma is.
Right.
So it's like. She's
very
waiting for a moment to
interesting.
turn on Alpha,
So,
and obviously she's done that many
Where
times.
did we leave off with Gamma then? Because I know I remember the sneak peek with her.
It was
and she
this-
actually goes.
Right, the Gamma was. They left it off where she was gonna have a meeting with her
That's right.
in front of everyone, and if they had to punish her, everyone had to watch it. That was her plan. But then in the sneak peek, we see Gamma talking to our group, and then we see Gamma being confronted by Alpha.
Right.
So, do you think this is part of Negan's plan, and maybe Negan's going to use this moment to do what he needs to do? Do you think?
I think he's definitely
'cause I
writing
can't
off
imagine he
of
would
what's already happening. You know.
he's just kind of taking advantage of the situation.
Because I don't think like maybe necessarily Negan's thing isn't like to make up things, just to work with what he has.
Right, he's got to work
Like,
with what
he lets what-
he only
what
knows what he
happens
knows. He
happen.
knows what techniques
Right.
work. He knows now what techniques don't work. So
Right.
he's really manipulating her and everyone else to get to the top there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to have a problem with Beta at some point. That's going to
Looking
get
forward
messy.
to that.
Because I can't imagine Negan could beat Beta in a fight,
I mean,
right?
that's what I'm thinking. But
So how?
I mean,
he's
we
got-
saw
he's
Daryl
gonna-
try to take out
I think
Beta
what he's going to
and
do
knocked him down an elevator
by
shaft.
having sex with her.
Yeah.
The whole praying mantis thing, is she going to kill Beta?
Well, see, this is the
Alpha
thing.
takes
He doesn't-
Beta out because she don't need that no more.
Right. No.
and she
no,
knows that
that's,
he's going to be a problem.
Right. I mean, that's it right there. He doesn't have to fight Beta.
Right.
He just
He
has
just
to
gotta have-
be him. Like he
Right.
has to take that spot in the
Right.
ranks. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
She'll take
There's
him out.
Exactly. There's no fight there.
So maybe part of the plan, though, with Gamma, we all know that Gamma really is the one. But what if Negan somehow turns it around on Beta in this meeting they have, and
He's obviously
and she
jealous.
takes out
like,
Beta instead?
Yeah.
Right.
Like he manipulates
That's the
him
thing.
again somehow.
I like
Or
that.
just
That all
lets
makes.
it happen.
See, that's his thing. He kind of just lets
He
things
plants
happen.
the seed and steps back.
Yeah.
Doesn't have
Because
to-
he's a manipulative
Right.
individual. Like that's.
But now he's imploding the whole group of the Whisperers from the inside, from the top. You take out the Queen, that's it. The rest of them are gone, and they're already talking amongst themselves. So Negan's doing a great job.
Right.
Can we take this conversation back a little bit to
Yeah.
the end of the last or the mid-season finale or whatever?
Right.
Who let Negan out?
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh God, I gotta think back. They don't show it, do they?
They don't
No,
show it.
because that's still. I feel like that's still a mystery.
What if it's the guy from the Whisperers who killed Sadiq?
I think it's gotta. I think it's Carol. Honestly, I think it's either Carol or Daryl. I think that I think that
maybe Daryl and Carol are in on this. No, Carol's
I
too.
don't think Carol and Daryl are working together.
I think that if it's out of the two, I'd say Daryl.
See, I think that's what I was thinking too. I think that maybe Daryl did that as a because he believed him because he knew that if he left him
about everything.
Well, if he left him there, they were going to kill him. They were going to the city or their little village was revolting against him because he had just killed that guy.
You're right.
That girl.
Daryl believes him that he didn't kill her,
and
or that
he
he didn't kill her.
really feels for Lydia.
Right.
Like
right.
a lot.
So now he's
like,
going to protect Lydia.
Right. I think that Daryl did it as like an inside too.
Yeah.
Like
but
what if he sent him on a mission? What if they had that conversation?
Yeah.
Like
he wants him to go undercover. I'll let you out if.
Basically, yeah. And if he dies along the way, good riddance. And
see, for sure.
I feel like this is brilliant.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I like
I have to say that I think this is the very first time in Spoiling Dead history that we've all agreed on something.
On a prediction.
Yeah.
Well, just
That's
even on
Just
enjoying
like
the episode. This is the first episode that I've
Especially
truly really enjoyed in a long time.
I have to say,
Oh, Grumpy
Tony,
Gill's over here.
Yeah, like audibly on the last few episodes has been like, I'm really liking where this is at. I really like
Ever
that
since the
episode.
Whisperers were introduced, I've actually been
Whispers
like
helped.
it's been
Except for that
Rick
one
out,
episode.
sadly, has actually made a difference, and that was my issue at the start. Was the
So
transition?
even if they were doing what they're doing now, but with Rick,
Well,
do you
because
think it wouldn't be the same?
Yeah, because it would have been Rick centric, and right now we
Right.
don't have a lead character
What
anymore.
are your
The story
thoughts?
gets to bounce around between everybody so much,
Right.
and they
right.
get to focus. Hey, we're gonna
New
do a
people
Daryl
to
and
get
Carol
to
arc
know
now, but
as
we just
well.
did kind of a Michonne arc. Like
Yeah.
we get to bounce around, which they did before too.
Yeah.
But it was still very much a Rick show. It was
always came back to Rick.
Right. It was a grime show. It was Rick, and it was his family. It was about his family, and it still is about his family, kind of, but just moved on a little bit now.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
What do you feel then, with that in mind, about? I think they called it Blood Island.
Is it the movie?
No, where Michonne is sailing off to.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Could this be where Rick is?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, yeah.
I think that place personally is big, and it's a place, and it's huge.
Absolutely.
So you reckon this is just a little island?
I mean, you probably. I mean, I don't know. I could see it being a fairly large island, but not. I just don't think this is where Rick's gonna be. I think that.
I was just thinking of a way. I feel like this isn't Michonne leaving. I feel like I heard that for sure she's leaving and Maggie's coming back, and that's.
I knew Maggie
Well,
was
then
coming back.
maybe it is where Rick is, and
That's what I mean,
maybe
like,
they'll pick up on
I
her
was
storyline
trying
in
to
the
think
movie
of a
or
way
something like
that
that.
they would use
Because they're gonna have to tie
Okay.
tie up
Because
at the loose
Michonne
end
pretty
with
well
those
said,
two.
I'm gone, and she gave. What I love about this, she gave. Oh my goodness, Judith a radio, but all the way back to Rick, season 1 radio. You know, he had
Right,
that
yeah.
With Morgan. What if this is the last we see? The last the group sees of Michonne.
That is not something that I
You
even
wanna think
remotely
about?
thought of. Like, I thought it was just like,
She
okay, like
sailed
she's
away.
going and she's coming back. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But she's in this little boat going
Oh,
God knows
man.
where with God knows who. I mean, it could just be. I feel it's a good thing.
Right,
And I
right.
feel like it's all good, and whatever she's either gonna bring. He says he'll send her back with something that will help.
Right.
What if it's Maggie? No, Maggie's with the other people, ain't she?
But why
Yeah.
can't Maggie be on this Blood Island
She could be.
thing? You
Yeah,
know?
I've
could
never
be.
heard the name of the place before, right?
Right, right.
But I feel like I don't know. I feel like
he would
I feel
have
like the
somebody
name
with
is
him
dumb.
if he came for a supply run. And it's just one dude on a boat, or did they explain? Some
I don't
of his
think
people?
I don't think so. I don't think it was.
Because his
I mean, I don't
boat
remember
wrecked
it.
or something, right? That's why he didn't have a boat to go back. The guy that Oceanside captured.
Right. Yeah, I'm not.
We're back on the episode here.
Right.
sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just.
No,
I'm
still
trying to
things-
remember it. Like it's all coming
Yeah,
together.
I watched
but
it
I'm
last
like,
night. I'm still a little bit not remembering it, but
Yeah, I mean, we watched it last week,
I'm
but
just trying to.
Yeah.
It touches on where Michonne went and all that. So I was
Right, right.
I wonder where she's going.
Because I don't think it's gonna be where Rick is, because I think we're actually gonna.
It's too easy.
We're gonna come back into her storyline here, like probably next
but
episode.
she's gonna get a
whatever,
good goodbye
for sure.
storyline.
Oh, it has
I
to.
feel
Oh,
like,
for
right,
sure. It
Michonne.
has to be.
And they're letting
Definitely.
people live now on the show, which is kind of nice.
Which is really nice.
So maybe that'll happen to her.
Yeah. Maybe Michonne is going to see Heath.
Ugh. Heath could very
Didn't
well
I-
be.
didn't I hear
haven't
that
we
we're
figured
gonna
out that
see
Heath is
Heath?
definitely with Jadis?
Jadis?
Sorry, and
But
then
I think that
Jadis
Jadis
is definitely with Rick. So
right.
Heath is wherever Rick is.
True.
So
Because I think I heard that, I
That
don't
he's in the
know if
movie?
it was like in an article or it's from you guys, but I heard that he was
probably from Spoiling Dead.
going to be
We
in
talk
the
a lot of-
movie. Because
stuff
that's just
here.
one thing. Where did he go?
Right, I think
Such
he's.
a
They figured it
loose
out, right?
end.
Because of
I don't really
because
feel
of
like
the
it's
RV.
that loose of an end.
There was a clue. I
There
don't
was
remember.
just like there was a clue on a piece of paper. I don't remember exactly what it was, but something was written down, and then there was tracks being, car tracks.
The whole time Daryl knows everything, and he's just slowly just making it work. I do like your theory about Daryl letting Negan out because
Yeah, I agree with that one.
only
I
because
like that one
the
too.
reason I'm so sold on that is because of the way Daryl behaved last night with Carol. Normally Daryl's the hot-headed one, right? And
Well, lately he's been pretty. He's been pretty
but
cool.
he's so extra calm about things, like he knows it's going to be okay.
Right.
Because he's like, don't go after her. It's not worth it. It's gonna.
Right. It's gonna work out.
Because if she goes after her, it's gonna fuck Negan's plan up, isn't it?
True.
Bleep.
True.
Well, I mean,
true.
right. He's
If
their
he
goal
let-
right
if he
now
let
is to
Negan
take
out-
care of this horde.
Right.
Like,
But if he tells Carol that,
Mm-hmm.
he can't, because Carol's like
right.
just tunnel
She
vision.
has to be the one,
Right.
and she has to see her suffer.
Right.
She can't just
But
die. She
but
has to
Daryl
suffer.
maybe behind the scenes is just secretly taking care of it. I love that now. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sold on that. I'll be disappointed if it wasn't him.
I mean, I would be surprised if it's
Because
not
he's
him
showing
because
good
nothing else.
leadership, too.
Well, not yeah. Oh, my,
He's just
absolutely.
taking care of it. No drama.
He's taken exactly. He
Out the
has
back
learned
door.
from Rick.
I love this.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
He had a good.
Daryl and Negan.
Daniel's got a not necessarily a question, but just
Deegan.
a thought in the chat. He says he doesn't understand why Beta just doesn't leave. What's holding him there? Wake up one day and say, I don't need this. Let's get out.
Because now it's a biggest dick
He's
contest.
obsessed
and he loves her,
with
and he'll do
it's-
anything for her. And I feel like his job's this whole time's been the big protector.
Oh,
and It's probably,
absolutely.
in the world that everybody lives in, there's probably not any other better job than that. And now we know he's also getting it from her.
Oh, absolutely.
He's getting
maybe
But
not.
maybe that's why Beta's been so touchy. There's some extra testosterone.
True.
No, that's exactly what it is. He's challenged.
It's like dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In the
he's
system that
definitely
they've
in love.
created,
Back to basic instinct.
Negan is an alpha male. That's
Oh,
him
he's the
through and
biggest
through.
dog in the pound. Man.
Exactly.
He's
Like,
like
there
a
is
big
no-
old Doberman.
Yeah, like size doesn't matter.
Right.
His
He's got a
attitude
big bark.
is exactly.
And a big tail.
So
No, I love
what
where it's
is
going.
to be expected for the next episode? What do you guys think?
Oh, let's see. Did we cover everything? Yeah, I think.
I haven't even seen the sneak peek, so I'm not really sure.
I saw the sneak peek.
They-
the Gamba
they
was
touch
at
on
was
Gamma
at the,
being
the community.
with the community, and then they touch
Daryl
on.
may find a spot in, save them.
Yeah,
Carol's kind of,
can't
I don't
remember
know.
What else? There's just a bit of action happens.
Yeah.
No.
Do we? Okay,
Excuse
here's
me.
a question for you. By the end of this season, do we see the Whisperers' conclusion by the end of the season, or
I
do
think
they,
so.
do
I
they
believe
carry it on?
so.
I'm
I
feeling-
feel
I'm
like
feeling
it's
around
got to
and
be
off.
happening.
Yeah.
It's already being taken down.
With all
piece by
the
piece.
spin-offs and all the movies and all the stuff that they got going on, before we were feeling like Walking Dead was wrapping up to an end as far as the show was
This
concerned.
story
But
is
do you-
wrapping up to an end.
Do you think
but
that the
Walking
show's
Dead
gonna?
ain't.
You think it's still gonna? They're still gonna go
It's
forward
like
with it?
yeah, I do believe that, especially with the way they do everything now with the whole universe thing. I feel like this story has to close and come to an end, and that doesn't mean the end of Walking Dead. It means new story with
Right.
some of the characters coming
Right.
back.
Well, I was curious. I know that with the with everything they've done on the show, but since the comic book itself just ended too,
Right.
not
Which
too
again,
long
that's
ago.
just one story, really.
mean,
a
maybe-
continuing
Right, they're
story
all
of
their
I think
own
they're
stories,
I think
yeah.
they're in with for one more season. I think we'll see
At
season
least.
11. Yeah.
You mean of Walking Dead?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. I think one more season and they'll probably tie it up.
This won't
However,
end that story, but this will end the Whisperers story.
yes, I agree.
And then we'll get to learn what else happens and how it all ends with the movies and The Walking Dead, and then everything else will kind of slowly trickle into these two spin-offs. and that'll
Mhm.
be the end of The Walking Dead, which is fine by me. I like a good ending.
Absolutely. Every story deserves a good,
Right.
proper
Some of them don't
ending.
get the ones we expect.
That's right. But I guess we'll see for the next episode if it's going to be a little open and not as claustrophobic. Maybe we'll see
I'm
some
glad they're out of
action.
that
Maybe it'll
cave.
slow down a little bit.
Although two of them are potentially still in the cave. So.
Yeah, I think they'll survive.
Well, the two of them are still in the cave, and Daryl, when he ran off, he's going to find them.
back in.
He's going back in.
So now the group is separated, and I'm stressed
and
out.
the Horde's still in the cave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or was it partial Horde, or was the whole Horde supposed to be down there?
I think
The whole horde,
is down.
and even that explosion. I mean, that vibration across the
that's going to
earth.
stir up some
That's
zombies.
going.
They said that too. They
There's
said that it's gonna bring them
so
all
many
there.
different
Chaos.
things that it's chaos. It absolutely is chaos.
And Alpha would have heard that too, so that's going to set some chaos off.
I'm stressed out.
I can't wait. I'm actually excited again.
I know, right? And Spoiling Dead is back again. Holy cow!
It's fun.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
So I guess, is there anybody else that wants to have any questions, or do you guys have anything else that you'd like to say?
I can't think of anything
I think we're good. I think we could probably wrap this show up. This is a good
Cool.
good step back. Sorry for all the weird hiccups, because the show, I don't know if you guys realize, probably not because you're not watching the monitor, but the first 20 seconds of the episode, I think, was you guys just messing on your phones and all that kind of stuff.
Well, hey,
That's what I get for not putting a
there's
thumbnail there.
always
Sorry.
room for growth. You know,
Man.
it's been a while since we've been in.
It's
doing
been a while
this.
since we've done it. YouTube
Yeah.
has actually changed the whole layout and how to
The
set everything
whole
up.
thing.
And
So
now
you
we
know
know
what?
that.
And now we know.
that.
So come back next week, Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Central Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time. And we won't have any more hiccups.
Yeah.
We'll be perfect.
Yeah, be sure to check out our website, radentertain.com.
Yes. Oh, God.
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
And
Forget
check
that.
out our cool store where you can buy some clothes for filmmakers. It's a clothing line designed with filmmakers in mind.
Whoop.
So check that out. Some cool stuff on
Need
there.
some zombie designs now.
Oh yeah, maybe we should. Oh, let's do a Spoiling Dead shirt.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Spoiling Dead shirt.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Look out for a Spoiling Dead shirt.
I like that. It's a good idea. All right.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys, for checking in. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna do thumbs ups and hey, I don't gotta figure out how to end the stream.
Oh, thumbs up.
Hey, bye.